So my plan to my plan to switch this up is not happening right now. It requires a little more, a few more steps than I anticipated. So today we're going to look at 3 things that you can do to remember more from what you read. And this goes back to a previous video that I did on how to read faster, how to consume more books and more information. But if you're not remembering any of that information or actually applying it, it's kind of pointless, right? So the 3 things that you can do to remember more from what you read and get more out of what you read. And the first thing is, why are you reading what you're reading? Why are you reading it? I've read books before because somebody's like, you got to read this book. And I'm like, cool. And it was a good book. But I didn't have a really strong why I was reading it. So, I don't know, I didn't remember quite as much out of that. So the first thing is, why are you reading it? If you don't have a why and you have a lot of limited amount of time to do things, then don't waste your time reading a book just because. And don't whine about having no time and then read a book without knowing why you're reading the book. Number 2 is, what or how are you planning to implement the why you're reading it? So the easiest way, let me know. Here's a good thing. If you're curious, I have a way of determining if you want to read a book or not. I have a little spreadsheet that I created. Actually, I didn't create it. I just made it better. That allows you to go out and quickly see via YouTube and search engines, quick little snippets of books and things to see if, you know what, oh, okay, cool, that's got some good information. I'll use that. So let me know. Say I want the nerdy spreadsheet. I want your little book hack spreadsheet. Tell me down below in the comments and I'll give that to you. But that's number 2. What are you going to do with that information? How are you going to implement it? So it's a what, how, step 2. Number 3, the most important step out of all of the steps, I guess they're all very important. Who, so it goes why, what, how. I'm combining that into one word, what, how, and who. Who are you going to teach it to? Because the best way to learn anything and to really make it stick up here is to teach it to somebody after you learn it. It's part of the reason that I do this. I'm not teaching. I do teach some new things that I learn. I teach things that I've known from the past. But by doing that, 1, it keeps me more accountable for doing what I say, practicing what I preach. Because there's nothing more annoying than people that tell you what is best or what you should do or give you advice, and then you see them the next day or within an hour doing something contradictory to what they just told you. It's like, if you're going to be a hypocrite, just tell me you're a hypocrite. I do hypocritic things sometimes, but I will tell you. And if you ever see me doing something like that, call me out on it. Other thing too, as far as something that's very good to do, get yourself a book journal. And what I do that works very well is, on the right-hand side of the page, I take notes. And on the left-hand side of the page, I make my own personal notes. So the right-hand side of the page is notes from the book, quotes, whatever else, page numbers, it's things I want to go back to. And then on the left-hand side, I make notes on how I'm going to implement that, which goes back to the why and the what and the how, and potentially how I can teach this to other people. So it gets your brain working a little more, gets you more engaged. You may not get through the books as quickly. That's another thing. There's people who are like, I read a book a day, or I read a book a week, or whatever. I listen to audiobooks. Complete waste of time, I think. I don't learn auditorially. But honestly, if you listen to audiobooks all the time, how much of that are you retaining? Could you teach that topic? I have books that I read that I'm like, I want to get through this whole book this week, and I don't. It takes me a month or whatever because I'll read one page, and it'll be like, oh, I got so many ideas. This is great, and I have my left side of the page where I'm writing down how I'm going to implement the things that I'm learning. So do that. Why are you reading the book you're reading? What and how are you going to implement it? Who are you going to teach it to? And as you're reading it, don't get caught up in the whole I read 40 books a month club, because there are very few of those people that are actually utilizing any of that information and teaching it in a way that's beneficial for other people. So help make the world a better place, and just read one page a day. Keep a book journal. It's really simple. And I'm going to keep doing these until whenever I figure out how to do one video and upload it to multiple places, which eventually I'll do. But right now, this is the most time efficient way of doing this. So until then, have an amazing day, because it's better than the